4, 5. Once I got a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I almost let it go away. Why did you let it go? Because it bit my fingers. Oh, which finger did it bite? This little finger on my right. This little finger on my right. It hurt so bad, what a painful bite. It made me cry. Yes, I cried and asked me how I let it slide. How I let it slide.
I describe Liz as a modern evolution or embodiment of Africa because it's where we are right now, and I feel and really believe that's what she's doing. And where Africa is right now musically, it's so hard to synergize two very important things, and that's commercial viability with your artistic flair. To merge those two things has become very hard, so she's done that very well.
This is one of those artists that I really can describe as an Afropolitan artist. Some people are more rooted in one specific culture. She has an international quality, and yet the soul of her work remains essentially African.
You don't need to really know her name, her race, where she's from. When she walks in, you find yourself staring. When she talks, you find yourself listening. When she smiles, you smile with laughter in your soul, because there's something so phenomenal about this woman. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about her.
Hi guys, my name is Lisa Gumbo Regis Ford. I am a creative entrepreneur. I focus on fashion and music, and I am a fashion designer under the brand name Lisa Gumbo. I'm also a songwriter, lyricist, composer, and I have just released my second album, Cancel, The Lotus Chapter, which is what has brought us here today. Now, the Cancel experience has been brought to life because people think Cancel, my Kenyan soul. The Kenyan soul is not just soul from a musical angle, but it's actually soul from everything about Liz. Kenyan soul is my food experience, it's wine experience, it's a chai experience, it's anything that Liz embodies as a Ken soul.
My father's grandmother, who was called Elizabeth Loe, and that is where Liz got the name from. And the lady was a great musician. And I think that that could have been passed over to Elizabeth. When the children were growing up, including Elizabeth, I used to entertain them, I used to sing for them. And this was just one of the entertainments that we would get in a day. It is not the only thing that we used to do. And Elizabeth was very, very fond of the music. And every time that I sang the music, she would start dancing. And I remember one song that really excited her was this one of Okelo konyango kwa marokado maropa more. Okelo konyango kwa marokado maropa more.
Okelo konyango kwa marokado maropa more.
Anya gunoni tutia chiwango maropa more. This simply means that a son-in-law went to visit a mother-in-law, and the food was dry. And when the food was served to the son-in-law requested for some sauce. And the mother-in-law was now wondering that the sauce is not there. So what will I do? And that is a song that Elizabeth took up and went on to finally sing and make music like the album that she has just made.
You don't know me, don't even know me.
As you have seen and as you have heard, Cancel just bloomed into the Lotus Chapter. The experience of this making of this album was very interesting because I actually went into studio. Kevin produced the track. We sat track by track and winding and humming and harmonies and melodies and everything. He played every instrument. It's amazing to see this come to life.
Working in studio with Liz, it was quite an effortless sort of record to make. We work very instinctually together, We definitely both like to improvise, so a lot of the songs were not rehearsed to death. In fact, there was no rehearsals. We went into the recording sessions just kind of like gut feel, and what we recorded, often first, second take, is what is on the record. And it's nice for me to work with someone like that, because I like to also kind of improvise a lot, so a lot of it just came naturally.
I think Liz has the most amazing personality. She's the funniest person that you'll ever come across, and that feeds into the music that she produces. It's something unique, it's something that you cannot pigeonhole, it's something that you cannot describe in words, really. You just have to experience it. She's one of those musicians that you cannot box.
What I really like about her is that I think she embodies something new and fresh. And I think that the international music world has become used to a certain kind of artists from Africa, legacy artists and up-and-coming artists, but more sophisticated and mature artists. I think there's really room for Liz to move into that space.
The most outstanding quality as an artist is originality. It's fearless, and it's breaking boundaries, and innovation. Real being innovative, and that's what's special, with Liz, because she always brings all those elements.
First time I did the song actually on the album with Liz when we went into the studio. When I went in there, she was actually working on a few more of her album songs already. So this was my first time I actually saw her real process and how she writes. And to actually see she doesn't really write. So that was a very interesting thing for me. So we're in the studio, I'm like, yo, so, write, do something. She's like, oh yeah. And she just goes on and on, and she just goes into the studio and she hears the sound and just goes. And she just, whatever comes in her mind, she says it, and I think that's a real talent, a real genuine talent.
I think Liz brings a fresh sound. It is a contemporary urban sound, although she draws strongly on various traditions. And I think the fact that she sings in different languages is also a really exciting aspect of her work, because that broadens her reach. For me, Liz's music is accessible without being pop music. And that's the appeal for me, because as a music specialist, pop is not my field of interest. And yet she's got a sound that can reach young and old, can cross borders and generations, and it really is a sound that is worth celebrating.
Watch out, man. Liza Gombo, the future.
I feel great, and I would encourage her not to look back. And I keep telling her, sky should be the limit.
I never let anything stop me. You better move when I'm coming.